Hi guys, welcome along to our Simworks GT4 League. Tonight we have round two from the Daytona road course, and I'm joined in commentary tonight by Mr. Wayne Losh. How are you, Loshy?
How are you, Greg? I'm well, thanks. Hope you're well. Looking forward to another exciting round of the GT4s.
And also joining us tonight is the one and only Mr. Damien Seeger. How are you, Damo?
Hey, yes, very well. Looking forward to the race as well. Under lights, something a little bit different. We get to see these cars shine.
All right, boys. Let's have a quick look and quick check of the race info. So, as per usual, it's two 30-minute races tonight. Potentially pit stops required for some fuel. As you can see, weather is set as normal, even though it's a night race. And just as we get underway, we'll check out the grid for race one. Boys, if you want to get that taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a newcomer tonight, Brad Ryan, who's actually qualified on pole position. Well done, Brad. Then we've got Jack Boyd in second position. Mr. Wayne Losh with an absolute stellar lap that he is in a McLaren. Let's not forget that in position number 3. Then we've got Glenn Wood. And number 5, we have Cole Ridley.
Number 6 is Neville Mell, another newcomer to our league, with Ray Oliver in 7th, Glenn Boyd in 5th, Moz Moroz in 9th, and Mr. Andrew Pears in 10th.
Just after that, in 11th position, Andrew Dutchy Dutch. 12th position, Mr. Damien Seeger. Over the page we have in 13th.
We'll jump to the race. Oh, jump to the race instead. I still can't get this.
All good. We're all over it. In 13th, we've got Anthony Connors. 14th, Mr. Boz Foster. And then, I get to say it, 15th position, Mr. Matt Casasorio.
In 16th, we have Luke Claver, Mr. Greg Holmes in 17th, the Lioness in 18th, Aaron McGuire in 19th, and Matt Hardigan in 20th.
Then in position 21, we've got Martindale. 22, we have Kennedy, I think that is. 24th, Mr. Ben Ferguson. Graham Ellis in the 25th position. You're on your G-Man. And then to round it out for the night, we've got Mr. Hockey in position at 26. May have got those numbers, mixed up a little bit. They were jumping up and down, but close enough anyway.
Hockey's another newcomer to our league, and he elected to start from the back of the grid tonight. He's wanted to make sure he didn't get in anyone's way, which was nice of him to just sort of sit back and observe, and I thought that was a nice call.
On you, Daryl.
Boys are off and racing. Looks like Brad's jumped to the front.
Certainly has. He's already got a little bit of a lead, but Jack Boyd's sitting nice and close at the moment, probably just trying to maintain that slipstream gap.
It looks like Losh has caught napping and dropped 2 places back to 5th.
Mr. Losh. Mel moving up in the 4th position. Newcomer to the league, but obviously showing a fair bit of pace. So watch out for him, I think.
So we've had a bit of action further back in the pack. Might jump back and have a quick look at a replay. This is Stephen Kennedy, I think.
Nice paint job.
Oh, and that's the wall.
It is, and it's full of tyres, and I believe a few of those are now entered his engine. Actually, I would be wrong, wouldn't I?
You
Engine's
would.
in the back, yeah.
And it looks like first lap is full of excitement. Looks like Keith Logan has also had a bit of a spin.
That's a classic cold tyre, that one.
Oh,
Especially on that one. Pretty tricky part of the circuit, that. There's a bit of a bump that catches people out, and it's pretty hairy on that one with the cold tyres.
That or Mr. L, as we would call him, might not be able to handle the power of the AMG, you think? I'm sure you'll let us know.
Two leaders have already got a bit of a gap going out there to third, 1.7 seconds. Back half of this circuit is a very big draft area, and you can actually make a lot of ground up, but once they get a bit more than 1.5 seconds and get out of that draft, it's very hard to catch it back up. So at the moment, they might even be working together a little bit to try to gap the field.
Yeah, I hope so. How many kilometres is the circuit, Loshy?
Approximately 5, I believe. It changes a little depending on the layout because you've got the NASCAR with extra chicanes, but this layout, I believe, is 5 kilometres.
You sound prepared. Doesn't he, Greg?
He does. Look,
As long as no one fact checks it because I made the number up.
I was going to say, is that
Sounded so convincing.
still teaching me to say it with conviction? Well done, mate.
I hate to say it, boys, but I think we've got another replay.
It's Billy.
Oh, he's,
Loves the grass, doesn't he, Billy?
he's turned
And the walls.
He turned the McLaren into a lawnmower, and it doesn't like Scott Bonner.
Yeah, Wall 1, McLaren 0. That Wall definitely won that little argument.
Yeah.
So, jump back up the front. And this is the battle between our newcomer Neville Mel, currently battling with Loshy and a few of the other boys.
Yeah, really mixing it in there, Nev. He's doing a great job, currently in 4th position. Getting nice and close to Mr. Wood, but Wood seems to be holding his own at the moment. See that Ridley's also making a little bit of a presence in the background. Wayne Losh.
Looks like the field's finally settled down.
Might have to talk to Wayne Losh about those wheel colours though.
Lime green, aren't they, Damo?
Oh dear.
That's what you see.
Yeah.
We might as well, but we might as well do it while we're here. We've been waiting for this, and it's been talked about all week. Let's go to the Lioness's car. Let's see what he's got for us.
Oh, the paint job. Yes, I missed it. Like, I'm looking forward to this.
So, yeah, there it is. We'll see if we can get a...
Wow.
It's good. It's shiny.
It's definitely out there.
Did you do that, Damo?
No, I didn't have a part in this one.
Okay. When I heard straight away, it's good, I thought, oh, okay.
We've no, I'm being nice. We've got to zoom in because I reckon he's got a few little Easter eggs on there.
So he has caution tape on the front and an under construction sign on the side. Yeah, it's certainly different.
Good on you, Daz. Yeah.
A lot different to what we're used to.
Got a good sense of humour, Darren. In our Monday night Mazda League, when he started that, he put L plates on his car because he was very much a rookie, and then 1 or 2 seasons later, he upgraded himself to P's and runs in the top 10 quite a bit now, Darren.
So it looks like he's considered himself off the piece now.
Off the P's, and obviously this livery's under construction. Maybe there'll be a few additions. We'll have to keep everyone posted in the weeks to come.
Nice work, Daz.
So we head back up to the front. It's still Brad in front from Jack.
He's keeping the distance nicely. It's a pretty good comparison, really. I guess you've got a Mercedes and then you've got the Aston Martin. So both accomplished drivers, very skillful. So should be able to see the weaknesses and strengths of these two cars out of these two drivers.
Yeah, a couple of guys with pretty massive I ratings too. So yeah, both very accomplished drivers.
Yeah. How good do those numbers look at night?
Just working my way back through the field, checking out the liveries under the lights. Oh, there's those green wheels, Loshy.
Yes, lime green.
See, now it's not me that sounds like the silly one. See what I did there?
I can see that Mr. Boyd's about to pull a move on Wayne Losh. This is where what lap are we on now? Lap number 4, so that Porsche should be starting to feel pretty good now.
Yeah, still can't keep up with the McLaren, mate.
I know. I know. in a straight line anyway.
No, honestly, the more I drive all the different cars, and I think last week I was saying I hadn't driven the McLaren, so this was my first week in the McLaren. I'm thinking that there's not a great deal between the cars, and just certain cars suit certain driving styles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Yep.
I actually really enjoyed the McLaren. I liked the way it turned in. I liked the way it exited corners. It was pretty stable, and I was reasonably quick in it. So
Yep.
I think it might be the car that I stay in for the remainder of the
Yeah,
season.
that's good.
You know, I do test normally, and if I find something feels a bit better for a certain layout, I might change. But at the moment, I was really happy with the McLaren.
Yeah, it's good, and likewise, I'm going to stay loyal to that Porsche. I just trust in it at the moment. I feel really comfortable in it, so I'll stick to it.
Well, I can guarantee I will not be going back to the Aston Martin anytime soon. This is Andrew Pears looking to try and get through on Ray Oliver at the bus stop. But,
Yeah.
Oh, Ray.
Oh.
Oh.
That's Pearsy. Yep.
Oh dear.
He's gone for a spin. Be interesting to see what's happened there.
So, was that is that of his own doing, or?
I think so. Like, without knowing for sure, I think it just might have been he really wanted to get the run on the car in front, and might have just been a little bit overzealous on the gas.
Nice little Porsche.
Yeah, coming into the bus stop there,
Yeah.
all looks good. And
Oh.
Double tap.
Well, we have him in the commentary box, so
We
I
do,
said he'd
we
get
do.
that on his own, but that looks like there might have been a bit of contact. Damo, can you confirm?
It was. So I kind of found the, and I'm not defending myself. I kind of found the Porsche had a lot of speed through there, and I think not Pears's fault at all, but I think he just sort of slowed a little bit because he may have had a little bit more speed than the car in front of him, and I just wasn't on the ball, and I've taken poor Pearsy out, unfortunately.
Yeah. No, well, that happens, and that's sim racing.
It is. But nevertheless, it's always upsetting, but I guess it's going to happen at some point to us all. So we get over it.
All right, so back up the front, we have Mr. Ryan, who's still got Jack Boyd. Don't think too many people have it easy trying to shake Jack Boyd, so that battle will probably go all the way to the end. Glenn Wood in third, the new man, Mr. Mel, in fourth, Kyle Ridley in fifth. That's a real close little battle there, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah. It's Mr. Lush must have pitted at some point.
Yeah, I did. I actually gave myself a slowdown through the bus stop, and because I had to wash so much speed off, I thought that'd be an ideal time to jump in and do the fuel. So I think tonight will be about a 16 lapper, and most of these cars will only get about 12 or 13 laps. So I took the opportunity, jump in and do a fuel stop.
There you go, Lushy. Hit it on lap 4.
There it is. Yeah.
Bring the information up so that we can see.
Yeah, good. I like that.
Oh, in the meantime,
Mr. Seeger has done something.
no,
again,
yours
wasn't
truly did. I beat you to it, Damo.
Oh,
That's why I don't like the Aston.
yeah. But on a positive note, silver lining because of the silver car. It looks good, but silver looks really nice.
Livery, yes.
Yeah, it is. Then did you notice the flames coming out the back just before you spun, which is an indication that you've downshifted and she might have compression locked up, maybe.
And
Or maybe not.
while we're at it, let's just have a look. I can't let you off the hook that easy.
Of course, I thought we were going to get away with that one, but
Oh dear.
Oh, is that section of track you were just saying how good the Porsche is at, Damo? Just curious.
You're very lucky not to end up having a Bonner emblem.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, speaking of paint jobs, how nice does that look?
It's very nice.
It's a very nice looking paint job.
Definitely looks good under the lights.
It does, doesn't it? It does, and that's in true support of our Xtreem esports presentation that we've got going on right here.
Love your work. So I might have a bit of a look through the field and see who's where. So where's our good friend Mr. Connors at the moment? Oh, there he is. In a battle with
Foz.
Foster and Connors.
Ah dear. Almost sounds a bit like one of those crime shows on TV, doesn't it?
Foz and Connor show, yeah.
And it's good to see these battles all the way through the field, and quite often, like now, two different cars, they got strengths and weakness in different sections, and it's good to see the battles of two different makes like that.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, look, the Porsche's a shorter wheelbase car, so it gets around the corners quicker. It really does. But I just can't beat the power of that Aston Martin and AMG, and I'm pretty convinced someone's going to have to check this up for me, but I'm pretty sure that Aston Martin is an AMG motor out of the GDR AMG itself. Yeah.
Would you like me to fact check that while continue to talk more about it?
Go for it. They sort of sound the same. I know in real life I've heard the Aston Martin. It sounds very close to an AMG.
So up the front, guys. At this point of the race, we're on lap 6. It would appear that Loshi, Damo, obviously your pit was
Yes.
due to the fact that you spun.
Correct. Yeah, I took that pit. Yep.
So you boys have sort of gone completely different to the rest of the field.
Well, it was a forced pit stop for me, and I think Loshi said the same because of his slowdown. But we'll see how that plays out. But these three boys at the front are really quick, and actually, I'm not going to say three. I'll say all 6 of them at the moment.
Yeah, it's quite a battle pack up the front, isn't it?
Yep, 5. Sorry, Glenn Boyd looks like he's about 5 seconds away from position 5. But look, he'll get up there though. If Glenn does what Glenn does.
As you've often said, Damo,
Absolutely.
It's the second half of the race that Glenn
Correct.
starts to shine.
Usually I put it down to the Porsche, but if Glenn's listening, let's just put it down to talent this time, shall we?
I'm sure he'll take it.
Yeah, but look, Neville Mel, I believe it is, who's a newcomer, is running pretty solid in 4th. I sat behind him in practice and ran a few laps with him, and he can definitely steer. He's got some pace, so it's good to see some of these newcomers come into the league and challenge some of these guys, which is great. It's what we want.
Yeah, and the obviously the top 4 are Astons and Berg, but Beamer currently sitting in 5th.
Yeah, stray Beamer, but we've also said that Ridley and Oliver both can handle those Beamers, and I think they stay pretty true to that car brand as well. I don't see them chop and change much.
I wonder, I know there was some comments floating around during the practice sessions. I wonder how much track dependent some of these cars really are. A few of the boys were commenting that the Beamer felt horrible at this track, yet we did a bit of a race one night with you and Loshi in the Beamer where I think you used a slightly different setup and it was just about untouchable.
Yeah, so yeah, that's right. We did use a slightly better setup, but that'll be it. I think if we put that setup in, that'd be probably a little bit of a unfair advantage because it was an untouchable car. But there was a complaint of some understeer, which I know the Porsche had in the first few laps. But it's track dependent, driver dependent. Honestly, the BMW I know is going to be untouchable on some tracks to come in the future. I can guarantee it.
It's hard too, but because we made the decision to run the same sprint fix setup for all cars, all rounds, which we think is the only fair option. For a circuit like this, the sprint, or there's a low downforce setting, which in every car is substantially quicker at a circuit like this. But it's a really, like, through the back circuit of the track where all the corners are, it gets very, very loose. And I think it would just make the top half a dozen drivers win by 10 seconds more, and the back drivers would really struggle with that setup. There's no denying it's faster, but it's a real handful around the back of the track. So the sprint fix setup that we run is a very stable setup for most cars, and a bit of understeer, while annoying, it's not going to make people crash where oversteer will. So it's a fair setup, and it's the same setup for all cars. So you know, you can definitely tune each car into each circuit, but you know, we have jobs, and we find that this setup is fair for everyone, and that's why we haven't locked people down to a make of car. Some leagues will make everyone pick a car for a season. The people that want to jump in and practice and pick a car for each circuit, they can do that. You know, so
it's a good point, Loshy, actually. That if people want to do their homework and find the best car for each track, I mean, we've got the calendar, the season calendar is already up there. It's not like they don't have the opportunity. So I suppose it depends on how much time and
I was going to say we'll make it the rich man's league. We all own every car, and we can pick and choose. We can walk in our garage and go, okay, am I going to race today? I might say the AMG, and I'll say the Mercedes for the race, and I'll take the McLaren down for milk.
Yeah, if you check out eBay, you'll see that there is a very cheap Aston Martin on there at the moment, because
he's there.
It has a stunning livery, but it might have a few bits in it.
I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to leave it alone. I'll let somebody else grab it. I've already got one.
I think I just got too used to got spoilt driving the Merc. Didn't have that issue of it losing traction. But
hey, I'll tell you what, back to this racing. Yeah, these guys are not really doing much at the front, are they? It seems to be staying pretty stable.
Our chatting and conversation's much more interesting. So, in fact checking your question, Damo, you've got to love Google. I typed in "do Aston," and then the rest of the question come up straight away. Do Aston Martins use Mercedes engines? Aston Martin and Mercedes AMG have been working together since 2013, with Aston's current models, including the DBX, DB11, and Vantage, all running AMG-sourced engines. So, straight from Google, Damo, you're right again.
Again, I like. Let me just grab my wife, and can you say that again, Loshy?
Well, this is being recorded, so you know.
I'll show her. That's a good point.
We've had a
doozy.
A doozy back further in the field, and that's Glenwood and Neville Mell.
You don't want to see that. That's
unfortunate, because they're both right up the front.
It's certainly
look like Woodsy may have just again, what I say here is not entirely correct. It's just what it looks like. He may have just washed out a little bit there, carried a little bit too much speed under the brakes.
And almost in sympathy, our one and only Keith Logan has. I wonder if Keith is in a competition with Billy this season. I just bring it out there. Same corner.
On your scuzzy.
It's not like any of us spin at that corner.
We'll see.
I've already done that, so.
Honestly, I really wish I could have inserted the sound of crickets just then.
So, the Beamer is now running third and fourth with Ridley and Oliver. So the understeer is obviously not that bad.
No, I don't look. It could have been maybe under cold tyres. Like I said, the Porsche did it as well under cold tyres. It was terrible. But lap 3 and 4 she picked up. But it looks like Mr. Wood and Mel have fallen back to position 7 and 8, which is not too bad considering.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse for both of them. So that's
Yeah.
not too bad of an escape when you're both turning around and facing the wrong direction for a second. So
Moroz just found himself in fifth position.
There he is. Yeah, I was
Yep.
just heading back to check out this battle pack with Oliver Moroz and Glenn Boyd still there, sixth position.
They always seem to find each other, Moroz and Boyd, don't they?
They do.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
sorry.
I'm just looking. There's still the top 12 still haven't pitted, and we're on lap 10. It's quite interesting.
It is.
I was just going to say, when you look at those three cars there, not picking on the BMW or the BMW fans, but wow, with that Porsche and McLaren there, it was really a third choice of a car you'd take home, isn't it?
Maybe that's the milk run, but you know what? To Oliver and Ridley's defense, that paint job's bloody awesome. Yeah.
Agreed.
So, Glenn Wood's currently in sixth.
Woodsy hasn't.
No, they
he
haven't
hasn't,
pitted yet.
Yeah.
Do you know the pit stop time on this one, Damo? Normally, sometimes you've got that information.
Yeah,
What
I
the
do.
time is?
39 seconds was my pit stop, so they ranged. I saw a couple of 36s and a couple of 42s. So I think this first race, people may not have had their pit stops down pat.
So Losh is 40 seconds off the lead in the first one that stopped. This could be exciting.
Yeah.
He's
Depending.
just watching a little bit of a battle on track with
Bergs.
Damo's favourite surname.
Casasorio.
I was waiting for Damo's assistance.
Oh yeah. I was actually
I'm just going to throw this out there too, Matt. If you'd like to join our broadcast one night and have a go at pronouncing Seeger or sharing with us the correct pronouncing of your name, you're welcome to.
I'm sure Matt would much rather sit at home and laugh at.
my poor attempt at my Italiano.
I was going to say the rather amateurish attempt of three.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
While we're talking about our finely tuned we've got one from Adelaide, one from Melbourne, one from Sydney. So every now and then we do get a little bit lost or see a bit of a technical glitch. That sort of makes things a little bit hard, but we try our best.
that's this. So yeah, for all of those people that wonder with the broadcast, just think of it back in the days of the COVID lockdowns when a lot of sporting broadcasts were actually done remotely. We decided to take that on a permanent basis.
And do it better.
Exactly.
Oh.
So
This is going to be good. Who we got there? We've got Boyd coming out, but
yeah, so all of a sudden there's a mad dash for the pits,
Yep.
and Loshi, as predicted, has moved himself up.
nice move.
Oh, bit of a slide there and well held.
So
You pit Moroz, which is good. Maguire hasn't pitted.
No.
Casasorio and Ridley and Ryan haven't pitted, so yeah. Ryan's going to be the one you'd want to catch.
this is always the part of the race that I find interesting when some
Well,
people have pitted and some haven't.
And it also shows the importance of actually nailing your pit entry and your pit exit, getting that, that braking point right, and making sure that your tyres are unticked and you've got the right petrol in, because 1 second here or there can make a real big difference sometimes.
Huge difference, yeah.
And this entry, don't think anyone will correct me here. I don't think there's a pit entry that you come into any faster than this. You're on a huge bank circuit, you're flat out, you're in 6th gear, you're doing like 260 or 70k, and then you got to get it down to 88k. And finding your brake marker is not easy. So that a lot of time can be given away there, or it's quite easy to go into the pits a bit too quick and then you get a penalty. So most people will err on the side of caution to not get the penalty, and it's easy to give away a 2 or 3 second advantage to someone that might have been a second behind you before the pit stop.
Yeah.
So Brad Ryan's just exiting the pits now as
It's going to be close, isn't it? It's going to be really close.
I think that might have been Brad in the off to the side there that was actually bouncing off that pit
Oh,
wall.
was it?
But
Okay.
Loshy told us to.
It's an easy
avoid
wall if you get a bit excited. It's not
Yeah.
hard to touch that one.
So is that saying that Ridley's pipped Boydie, or is that another little glitch in the system?
No, it's saying that he's actually got in and out of the pits quicker than Jack, but this, I have a feeling we'll get back to just how much fuel did he take on board.
Yeah, right.
There he
He
is
has
there.
to.
He's
Yeah,
in front.
it's 2.5 seconds is a big gap with pits
It
in it.
is. That's a fair bit of fuel.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm back
there's-
up in fourth after qualifying third. So at this point in time, it looks like that early stop because of my slowdown wasn't a bad idea.
Somebody say something, Greg?
Yeah. I think I think Loshy's peddling those. What are they? Lime green wheels.
Oh, don't worry, boys. I'm just building it up for the broadcast because it's about to go south real soon.
I keep looking to the incident board, Loshy, just in case there's you happen to fall off anywhere.
No, it's not an incident. It's just maybe a miscalculation. Could be a bit of a problem.
Well, he
Oh,
currently 12 seconds off of third. God, look at the lap time. Oh no, because that Brad would have pitted.
he pitted. He hit the wall. Ridley's out in front. We don't know if he's going to fall short of fuel. My prediction is going to, with a gap like that coming from... Look, he came from third into the pits and first out of the pits. So my prediction is, and honestly, without knowing, that Ridley may have made a bit of a short call.
And well, Jack's already cut that gap from 2.5 down to about 1.4, which sort of hints that we know Jack's probably a bit quicker, but wouldn't be over a second quicker, you would think, at this start of the race. So that might be Kyle being a little light on his fuel usage at the same time, because he might have actually done a very short stop and trying to make sure he can get to the end.
Do you think Jack knows it, though?
Looking at the lap times of especially the front runners after the pit stops, I'm curious now as to whether everybody's a bit concerned about did they take enough fuel.
Seeger's dropped back to 12.
Yeah, but your lap time on the last lap number was actually quite good compared to a lot of the cars around you.
That's just skill.
Or is it because you took a little bit too much fuel?
Skill.
Trying to burn off the excess fuel. Isn't that what they do in the airline industry? Burn
They
off
do.
the excess fuel?
They do. You know, they taxi harder and they take off quicker if they've got too much. Yep.
See?
They use a higher percentage. Yep. But that's not what I'm doing. It's skill.
So there you go. The gap shut down, and he's about to make a move, maybe, or set up for a move in a very short amount of time.
I reckon that's a big let off by.
And look who's right behind him.
And they were 2 seconds quicker on that lap, both Brad and Jack. So yes. I think
See if Kyle concedes. Yeah, he might.
He's not going to make it easy, but I think he's a bit of a sitting duck at this point.
Oh, this will be interesting, Dano. Jack didn't quite get the overlap, so.
Simworks versus Partners versus Simworks. Let's see what we've got here. They look great on the lights. Those.
I think Jack will really want to get this done before the bus stops, so he can put Ridley between himself and Brad for the next big main straight. So
you don't want to, if you're the third person in the tow, which is probably what Brad's thinking at the moment. Probably got the biggest beneficials, but is he going to go for it? No, he's not.
I Kyle's positioned himself well. I don't think Jack
He's-
was
he's-
really given much choice there.
He wasn't. Kyle's just planted himself right in the middle of the track, and he said, "No, sir, not have that."
I don't think Kyle's.
Well, we've got one more lap to go, right?
Yes.
This is lap 15, so yes, I think there will be a white flag as these guys head towards the line.
Jack's backed out of that.
He
Look at that.
has.
Yeah, he's lifted. Can you even lift, bro? Well, maybe not. He has.
He's pretending. I think that's to cover off Brad. So
We can learn here.
we might jump back and just see what Brad's thinking of the whole.
Be interesting to see how Jack just sits on the track to keep Brad at bay.
Yeah, as I said, I think he's using Kyle.
Oh, and Losh has dropped all the way back down the field.
What was it? Did you hear something, Greg?
Oh, he actually entered pit lane. Loshy.
My condolences, sir. Yeah, you were
My
doing so well
calculator was broken.
Got a better offer?
for the past 3 races. Thought you would have had it fixed by now. And helped your teammate.
I hear Moz is available, Loshy, if you need a hand.
At least he drives a McLaren, not a dodgy Porsche.
There could be a team change coming up. Will Seeger be dropped out of the WVT team? Stay tuned.
So here we
Look
go.
at this. Yep.
This is the last lap, and still Jack is not really looking.
Yeah, but he's staying low. He's staying out of the slipstream because he's probably trying
It's
to
a
keep.
game of chess, you
Yeah.
know. You've got to be in the right position after the bus stop. And at the moment, Jack is doing a real stellar job of keeping Brad behind him and still having the BMW there to use to get that toe to the line. So I think he's played this pretty well.
Brad's sitting in a really comfortable position now. Just needs Jack to pull out like that. He needs to sit behind Jack, which,
3 wide.
yeah, he could have held it for a bit longer, I reckon, but this is fantastic. Yeah.
This is gonna go.
I don't know who wins this.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'd say
He's going to get it.
Brad got it. Brad got it by
Did he?
16 thousandths of a second.
Oh, well done, boys. Well
And
done.
Ridley right there as well.
Oh.
What a finish.
Oh. Okay, back a
That's
little
a
bit.
pretty cool finish, that is.
See what we can get here. There's a first knock. Comes down. Hits Ridley. Possibly a little push. It's not enough.
Yeah,
See, there's
push
the
there.
nudge.
There's
Yep.
the nudge.
Oh, that was close. I'm going to give it to Brad. Yeah.
And you called it, Damo, too. You said you reckon he went a little bit early. If he had maybe waited another
yeah.
second, I reckon he would have won that by 16 thousandths instead of
Again, you know, I don't claim to be the man to listen to, but I reckon if Brad just had held there for another second or two, he would have just pulled into a little bit of a better slipstream.
I'm just going to jump back, boys, because somewhere on the last lap there was a bit of a coming together with some of the front runners. So that's Glenn Wood.
Oh, that's that
Ray
oversteer.
Oliver.
Yeah, he's overcommitted there, and he's unfortunately hit Glenn.
So
Yeah, so that'll be Oliver apologising and giving the position back, which is good.
yeah, so that certainly changed things around. We might go and have a look at some results and.
It was a really good race, actually. I enjoyed that last lap. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So there's the results. That's practice. On practice, we
Well, I'm in 5th, so it's good to look at, guys. So I'm going to take note of that.
I'm in 3rd. I reckon
yeah.
we should call that.
Did you hear something again, Greg? I mean,
let's look at the. There we go.
There we go.
There we go.
over to you,
Over
Lockie.
to you, Damo.
Oh, isn't it bad? All right, I'll do the top 5. So we've got Brad Ryan, really, really close. He's just got his nose in there over Jack Boyd for 2nd position. Kyle Ridley in 3rd. And we've got Moz Moroz, actually 13 seconds behind in 4th position. Well done, Moz. And then Glenn Boyd, as always, reasonably close and just behind Moz.
Dutchy in 6th with Glenwood in 7th after a couple of little mishaps. Ray Oliver in 8th. Anthony Connors in the top 10. That's a nice job for Anth. And Mark Foster rounding out the top 10.
Then we have Matt. Oh, sorry. All right. In 11th, we've got Wayne Losh. We got Matt. That's audio. Darren Linus, Sandra Pez, Aaron Maguire finishing off in position 15th.
16th, we've got Daryl Hockey, Damien Seeger down in 17th, and Mr. Ferguson in 18th.
Look at that.
19th, Mr. Greg Holmes. 20th, Matt Hardigan.
Keith Logan having a little bit of trouble with that AMG power tonight. He slid a couple of times. And we've got Luke Claver, who usually finds himself a little bit higher up in the field. Billy Martingale keeping it straight. Stephen Kennedy and Neville Mell.
And Graham Ellis rounding out the race, 14 laps down. So Graham must have had some technical issues, I would say. That's Heat 1 at Daytona.
All right, boys, we'll take a short break and we will be back shortly for race 2. Hi, guys, welcome back. We're just about to get underway with race 2 here, just as the grid moves around behind the safety car to the start finish line. I'll get the boys to read out the starting positions for race 2.
Is Greg, so due to that fantastic finish of race number 1, we've got Ryan on pole position. Jack Boyd in P2, Mosmeroz in P3, Carl Ridley with that BMW in P4, and then Dutchy Dutch in P5.
In P6 and P7, we've got the two Glens, Glenn Boyd in 6th and Glenn Wood in 7th. Then Ray Oliver in 8th, Oz in 9th, and Anth Connors in 10th.
And I've got his name again, so Tessoraro in P11. I may have exaggerated a little bit there. P12, we've got Wayne Losh. P13, we've got Darren Linus. Andrew Pears at P14 and Hockey in 15.
And while Mr. Seeger gathers himself, we've got Mr. Seeger in 16th, Ben Ferguson in 17th, Greg Holmes in 18th, Matt Hardigan in 19th, and Keithy Logan in 20th.
Piper in 21, Martindale in P22, Kennedy in 23, Mel 24th, Maguire in 25th.
And let's not forget Mr. Graham Ellis in
G-Man.
26th.
Good on you, G-Man.
All right. So, have they been through the bus stop yet? Or was that focused on the names?
Just about to get underway, I think, guys. Yep. Hear the engines.
Oh, there they go. Inside line into turn 1. I'm thinking that Brad will maintain first place. And Kyle pretty quick to get it in there and try to take second off Jack.
Yeah, it didn't look like an understeering BMW to me. That was pretty good. They got that Beamer in there, but Jack's pretty close by still. Having a little bit of a sniff. More than a sniff now. Look at that Porsche just hunting in the background.
Maybe you need to do a shark theme demo. Get a bit of Jaws music going for you next time you're trying to get someone.
Oh, don't scratch the paint job. Oh, they have?
Dear. Oh, yes. Oh, and there's one heading off.
Wow, where did they end up?
Wow. And Darren Linus' paint job is scratched.
And I think we've caught a safety car.
Looks like it.
Pears. Looks like Andrew Pears and Billy Martindale come together. Two Simworks boys.
That it was Martindale, was it? Yeah, he's surprisingly pretty far up because that was actually in front of me. So he's really made his way through the crowd there.
He got a really good start.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, it's
lap to third corner.
All right, so talk us through the procedure here, Damo, when a safety car's called. What's going on now?
Yeah, look, generally if the incident's bad enough, we'll call a pace car just to gather the crowd up a little bit and let the guys that have spun out get together and regroup. But the procedure is single file. We maintain 60 kilometres an hour, which admittedly was probably a little bit slow for this track, so my bad there. And we'll also, as you can see there, Pear's just backing off to the pits. So we'll allow the guys to go to the pits, repair their car. But if they choose to do that, they can't actually re-enter in the position that they left. They've got to join the back of the pack, which sometimes is a pretty wise choice.
That's quite good. So the people that have damage have got the chance to actually get
Yeah,
their
that's
car
right.
fixed and stay in the race, not
Correct.
got to be sitting there with throwing their toys out of the cot going, my night's over.
Yeah, exactly, and that's exactly what it is. Lushy is it is one of those leagues. It's there's a couple of little gentleman agreements here, and that's definitely one of them. We don't want people out for the whole night, so we allow them to do that, right? And
Yeah.
it keeps them happy, keeps us happy, and people like Pearsy get to continue the race. Yeah.
So at this stage, we've got 3 cars. It looks like in the pits. You've got 5 cars in total. We've got Pears, Dutch, Wood, Moroz, and Hockey all currently in the pits taking repairs. So
Billy take a pit, did he?
who did?
Billy? No, he didn't.
No, he survived that one.
Lucky Billy. What about the Lioness? He got his he got his car scratched. Did he want to take it back to get it polished, that new paint job?
No, he wasn't giving up that position for anybody.
That's a very good point.
So it looks like most of them. I know we still got Moroz and Hockey in the pits at this stage. Dutch, Pears, and Wood are all at the pit exit, waiting for the field to file on by.
It is, and these yellow flags, they're good. However, we take learnings, and one thing I'll take on this is on big tracks like this, I think 60 was probably a bit slow. We probably step it up to 80 next time round, just so we can get a bit more racing in.
Yeah, but it's always it's the unknown, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Towing. A few of the boys I noticed actually towed, so they would be dependent on towing time as to how quickly the field gets around, because it's sort of 6 one, half dozen the other. If the field comes around too quickly, then we sort of have to slow down and wait for those guys to still get out of the pit. So
yep, not all the decisions are spot on, that's for sure. But we try our best. Yep.
Yeah, and the virtual safety car is a really good thing, because it's not hard for the leader to just, take the instruction on board, do the 60, 70 or 80. You're not then waiting for iRacing safety car to do an extra lap. And, with a small incident, sometimes you can get the race back underway within 30 or 40 seconds if there's no real damage, or, other times it can be like this where it might be a couple of minutes. But it's still a much better solution than actually calling the safety car out, which will always do a minimum of 2 laps.
Yeah, that's a really good point too. Wouldn't it be great if we could hire somebody to drive a safety car? You never know.
Yes, never.
We've tried it. Yeah, we've tried it before in our other leagues on Sunday nights. Personally, I think it works really well.
Yeah, I tend to agree. The only issue, I suppose, is it's never great to have to call a safety car. So
yeah, of course. Yep. We're about to go green. It's not our intentions, Greg, that's for sure. Yeah.
I mean, as we saw, there was 5 people that basically got caught up in that one, which is it's nearly a quarter of the field, so it's good to have everybody back on the same.
Yep.
Lap.
Back in line. Yep. There we go.
One of those guys can sort of still get up to the back of the top 10, or maybe slightly into the top 10 with a good run, whereas the other way, it is a night over incident, so it is a much better solution.
I might just go back and just see if I can pick up what transpired.
Yeah.
No, that's in the safety car. So.
Oh, there was a.
Oh, okay.
Simworks cars coming together. Come on, guys, work it out. again.
Okay.
Wow.
So we'll go back to the start of the actual
Yeah.
race.
And it looks like Jack was caught napping napping a bit
Which
then.
is-
Because Brad's really gapped
Yeah,
the
yep.
field with that restart.
That's rare. That's rare to see Jack nap.
Yeah. Jury might be out on that. We'll see how the rest of the race pans out. But Jack normally has a strategy up his sleeve.
Oh, yep. That's another good point.
I just wonder whether he's working out whether the safety car can save him some fuel at this point.
Hardigan doing down in position 13 there. And so it looks like he's just taken over Ferguson. Ferguson's got back in front. He's dropped back. Oh,
there's
Hardigan's
dropping out.
way back. Yeah.
So let's see.
Billy's
there
going
was
back too.
another
Yeah.
thing going on there.
Oh, it's all happening again.
Billy. I wonder what rhymes with Billy.
Hilly? He was on the hilly?
Yeah, no, on the hill of the banking. That's right, Damo.
Yeah.
Very good.
This was quite hilly. He was high on the hilly.
What is it they say? My name is Billy, not
Hilly. So back to P1, are we? Yes.
Oh
Brad.
my
Yes.
God, this needs a big mention. Second
that?
position, Anthony Connors.
There he is, the
Absolutely.
man himself.
So that's
Oh, somebody's doing
pretty
a little. Yeah. Who's that giving him a little bit of hurry on behind?
Somebody was warming up the tyres.
Yeah.
Way too much
It
F1.
looked like really was doing a tyre warming there. So we've got Ryan, who's gapped the field by 2.5 seconds. Anthony Connors in second. Mr. Ridley in third. Ray Oliver in fourth. Two Boyds in fifth and sixth. Losh in seventh. Foster in eighth. And Seeger in ninth, with Lioness rounding out the top 10.
And then number 11. You can't just stop at 10. Let's go to 11. Holmes in 11th. But how long can you tame that Aston Martin?
Not long.
That's the question.
I blamed it on the cold tyres because of the safety car.
But look at that. Connors be wrapped with himself right now.
Yes.
P2. I thought he was getting the flash then too.
No, you're too far back.
That's a great line by Connors too. So he's running some good speed.
Currently 3 seconds off the lead.
Ridley's dropped back. I don't know what's happened there.
Yeah.
Bit of a battle going back behind the Ridley.
Oh.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah.
That.
Oh.
Sorry, Jack. Getting through there.
And up between the two juiced. You'll get juiced.
So, meanwhile, in 7th spot, Mr. Losh has just recorded the fastest lap time.
Galoshi.
There you go. Get that McLaren working.
Look at this racing, guys.
Wow.
40 around the outside,
It was a really big battle pack, and there was it's a wide enough track in areas for all different lines to be used, and there was some cracking racing going on, and it was really fun being in this pack. And I remember just there, getting up alongside Jack and sort of just looking in front with 5 or so cars, and just thinking, do you try to pass or do you hang back? And I think in about a lap's time, Jack's up and passing Anthony, and I'm sitting there just saying to myself, how did he do that? Because there never seemed to be a gap. Every time I went to go to the outside, the car in front would go to the outside, and it was good. So I think we can focus on this for a little while and just watch it, because there's some really close battles and actions, and cars really getting side by side, and it's all done without any incidents, if I remember.
What are those two cars just behind you?
Slow ones, obviously, because they're behind me.
Porsches there. It's cue the shark sound.
Front and back. Front and back Porsche.
Dun, 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 dun.
So I might actually jump
Yeah, boy, his car. Yeah, that's what you're thinking, isn't it?
So
See, look at that. Like, look at this. This is crazy.
Wow. The juiced sandwich.
and there is the car 81 of Mr. Connors who late on the brakes.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He even took a second stab at that too. So he's hit the brakes hard and he thought, no, I'm going to let go a little bit more here. And he's picked up a bit more speed and that exit's fantastic.
Meanwhile, Jack says, can't
Come
quite
on, mate.
read that.
Yeah.
It's on the back of your juiced car there, boys.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the fine print then, just to see if there was any terms and conditions.
More ports. You think that's a USB thing or a shipping yard thing?
I think they're about to get shipped in a minute. It's All Ports Gaming. There you go.
Yeah. We'll relate that to USB then.
In case you couldn't read the first time.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Lushy. Sorry, Connors. Look out, mate.
So Jack's getting a nice toe, and Anthony's sort of been hung out to dry on the high line, but should slot back in. Maybe not. Oh, bit of a touch there.
Yeah, he's shut the door, hasn't he, on Ridley?
Did.
But as Lushy predicted, Jack Boyd's got a really good gap.
So
Just his awareness with the cars around him and the way he positioned the car then, it was, as I said, it was pretty to watch from where I was positioned.
as much as I love watching this battle, this is something that I really do need to check out.
Is that Mosmeroz?
That is the one and only.
Turn your screens upside down, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, God.
And
Get
he
dizzy.
spun coming out of the pits.
Oh, I reckon he was going for that glass of scotch again. What do you reckon?
None of us are going to rule that out.
No, he's like, oh, damn it, I left the pits. I haven't got my scotch. Hang on, there it is. Oh, no, I'm spinning.
And not to be outdone,
Steve,
it's another
Kennedy.
McLaren.
Yeah, and a nice paint job too. I'll pay that.
That is nice. Those colours work really well
Stevie,
together.
you've got to hold the brakes,
Oh,
Mr. Kennedy.
dear. Ouch.
Super important. Really good time probably to call out the old,
Oh.
well,
And don't reverse
good-
into the wall.
yeah, good time to call out
And
the
now
old.
I'm out.
Yep, everybody's heard it before. The watch your bloody relative. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you just and you know, not stuff to it. We've all done it. I've done it. I'm 100% guilty. But if you do remember, you've just got to be a little cautious because you'll just ruin somebody else's race.
It's always easier just to hold the brake and let people
It is. That's
decide
correct.
where they're going rather than move because, yeah, a moving target, it's always hard to know how to avoid it.
Totally agree. Keithy's just done a 154.86. That's not a bad lap for Keithy boy, considering he was spinning a bit in the last race. Up in the cockpit of Brad Ryan for a bit. Mr. Producer.
Certainly, we can do that.
Listen to the roar.
AMG.
/ Aston Martin.
No, this is the real one. There's no Aston Martin in this one. This is the all AMG.
Have you ever had the pleasure of driving one of these or being in one of these?
No. The Porsche, yes.
Yep, the Cayman. Yep.
But yeah, no, I haven't. Can't say I've ever been in a Merc. Oh, very old, the older ones.
Yeah.
None of the later model ones.
What about yourself, Damo?
I been in the older 63 AMGs, which had the older V8, not the 4-litre V8, but the 6.2, I think it was V8. That thing was an absolute beast. I know these cars still display a 6.2, but they're actually not. They're a 4-litre twin turbo, I believe.
Bi-turbo.
Bi-turbo, yeah.
And that's not their
fantastic.
sexual preferences. That's the
That's, yeah. Aston Martin, I've driven that car quite a bit actually, and been in it. That Aston Martin V8 Vantage actually that I've driven is an absolute beast of the car.
Yeah, nice.
Love it. Not that model either, by the way. Just for the record, it's the older V8 Vantage, which is still a really nice car. 5.7 litre.
I'm a bit of a fan of that Tron-looking livery going on there with Daryl Hockey as well.
Yeah, I was interested to Daryl being one of the new boys on the block, and
It's like an LED, doesn't it? Like a floating LED.
Are you familiar with Tron, Damo? Because I might be a bit old here, but
I think I am, and I think Tron is still a thing. To be honest with you, it is. I'm right in saying like that LED sort of look, right?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it was I don't know. Do you remember, Greg? 80s movie Tron,
yes,
maybe.
Yes.
Yeah, but you still would have been in your high 20s then, yeah?
Who? Not me.
No, you would have been in your high 40s.
Low 60s.
That's when we needed crickets.
And can we start bringing in some sound effects that we can all
we can.
button on for the future weeks? Because
Yep.
I reckon we need some.
Somebody can give us a tip. Ideally, if we could do it within the Discord, that'd be good, so we could all have access to it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dear.
Surely, from all the people that race in us and watch this, someone's got to be smart enough to just send us a little message going, all you need to do is this.
Help us.
So, we are at 16 minutes and 47 seconds of this 30-minute race. I don't think this race will go 16 laps because of the time spent behind the safety car.
See, Mr. Foz and Mr. Seeger, what happens when you battle? Another car gets involved.
Several
I don't know.
Cars.
I know Darren Lyons' cars, was always black and grey, but this time it sort of reminds me of Legos for some reason.
Oh no.
Anybody else?
I'm not going to comment. I'm happy to sit out this one. Poor old Darren has changed his livery. This is livery number 3 in nearly as many races, so I'm not going to say anything.
Oh, I'm looking forward to next week's what he comes up with. Honest.
Connor's got a bit wide, and I noted that really nice looking Porsche actually got into the back of the Beamer there as well.
Again,
I think that's was because of what happened in front. Yeah, I think Boyd might have actually checked up by memory, but obviously he would have checked up maybe because of Losh. Was it
unlikely.
you?
That'd be unlikely.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
we have
Stevie. That is a nice paint job. I'm gonna rip that paint job.
Isn't it? Like
That is awesome. Yeah,
oh, the colours go together so well.
they do. That color palette is spot on in my opinion. Comment, fellas. Comment on your opinions there on the paint jobs. We'd love to read them. Like and subscribe as well, guys.
yeah.
I just feel like a YouTuber.
Oh, we're sounding so professional now.
Wow. And don't forget to send stars, Graham.
Yeah.
There'll be contract coming in. Fox Sports.
Yeah.
Oh, are we allowed to say Fox Sports?
Yeah.
We just did.
Fox Sports? BOX? Sure.
Yeah, BOX, that's it.
So, this race has become really disjointed at the moment with Brad Ryan.
Oh, look at that. Losh in second. How did that happen?
I'll go back and have a look. Oh. Mr. Glenn Boyd is taking the scenic tour. Interesting that he gives so much track room when it's young Jack sitting in the same room. Obviously, they don't want to have a coming together.
Yeah, we might have to ask him to set up a webcam to actually watch them both race one night, because I reckon there would be a few "get out of the way, Dad," or you know.
Why'd you do that?
You reckon that happens? I reckon it does.
Oh yeah.
Oh, definitely.
If it was my son, it'd be a sock or a shoe that goes across the room.
Something to try and slow him down a bit.
Yep. Watch out, incoming shoe. Boom.
So it looks like the two Porsches have cleared the vehicle
Well.
of Ray Oliver.
Yeah, those Porsches are on the hunt, and obviously Connor's in between Boyd, Foster, and myself. So once we get those Porsches together,
So poor old Anthony is meeting the sandwich here. He's got Porsches to the left of him, Porsches to the right.
And he's stuck in the middle with Damo.
nice and tight. Yeah. Here we go. Time for a rear view into the turn one, I reckon. Either Foz or...
It is a massively toe or draft dependent circuit, but it makes some great racing. And the turn one is so wide, you can actually really go around the outside, break deep, cause someone to hold a tight inside line and actually get a run on them. It does produce some really good racing. Like, look at this, two sets of cars side by side, different lines.
So he just got in.
It's a good track.
Yep. Can you go to the rear bumper of Ridley, Mr. Producer? No, he's pulled aside.
Oh, that was a nice move you pulled there, Damo. Has anyone ever done that to you in that part of the circuit?
I reckon that's a Loshy special right there. I think it gets interesting into turn one.
So why don't we jump onto the
There we go.
nose of oh, just as we do that, Mr. Connor says, "I'm having this spot."
I think Ridley's trying to fuel save. That's my tip. Yep.
Okay, so if we jump forward,
On the Foz. On the
now
Connors.
onto Connors,
Watching the back of that. Yeah. Jinx. Back of that beautiful Porsche.
and to
Beautiful paint job.
And to think I actually offered good money for Anthony to have a long brake pedal.
Can't catch the Porsche now. What are we? 10 laps in.
Might have spoke a little bit early there.
Oh, really?
Oh, I'm just saying, like, look at that gap get
Nah.
smaller and smaller and smaller.
He's definitely coming for you.
Yeah, but the skill far outweighs the speed. Watch this. Nice and tight. It's just the Porsche can just hug these lines at this stage of the race. It just can stay really tight. It can hit the apexes every time. Every time.
Yeah, it sounded a bit like a car.
Yeah.
Which to all those car salesmen out there is really good and honest.
Yes, trust me. I'm a car salesman.
So we might.
Old lime wheels.
Loshy's still holding down second. 9.5 seconds the gap. It would appear with roughly 4.5 laps to go that Brad Ryan is virtually
Steaming.
got
Yeah,
this,
he's
got this well and truly in the bag.
absolute steamer.
Glenn Boyd in third.
Holmes, McGuire. Wood is 22nd.
Yeah, looking at the,
Wood might have checked out, right?
I think I
Yeah.
know. I,
Well, you sold your Aston Martin. I saw that. I saw you.
yes, yeah,
Yeah, I saw you making the deal in the pits and signing the
I
papers.
actually had somebody in the crowd hold up a sign, where normally
Give
they
it to
ask the
me.
guys for their boots or
Yeah.
leathers or gloves.
You,
Somebody held
you
up the sign and said, if you don't like it, I'll take it off your hands, and I couldn't get rid of it quick enough.
did you pick it up and throw it at him?
I threw him the keys
Yep. Yeah,
and
mate.
told him
All yours.
it's parked out in the track somewhere. You
Yeah, take
can
it.
have it. Yeah,
Got
no,
no
that
grip.
was.
It's got no power. It's got no grip on the tires. It's all yours, mate. And all it does is face the other way.
No, I was really. I actually did a Loshy this week. I know Loshy last week was unhappy with his car choice, and I certainly
Yeah, it
know how he
happens.
felt.
Yep, it happens.
Trial and error, you don't know until you give it a go. So
No, I did practice in the Aston and thought it would be okay, but it's just unlucky.
Unlucky's the word.
Unlucky.
Interestingly, Loshy is in second and Boyd is in third. It's just about a second behind Loshy, just sitting in there.
Yeah, and Jack's still back in fifth.
Yeah, he's way back. He's like
He's
yeah,
20
10
he's
seconds
seconds.
off
back
the
about
lead.
11 seconds. So
Yeah,
yeah,
no,
because he was in front of me a little while ago, and now
yep.
he's 10 or so seconds behind. So
Can't help but think there's a strategy involved here.
Well, yeah, we haven't seen any incidents involving, so
He hasn't got damage, does he?
no. Um, if we jump back and have a look at Jack's car, he's just happily trundling along it.
Pump speed.
Yeah.
She's looking clean. She's looking smooth. She's looking 90.
Interesting to see what sort of lap time. So here we go. Brad's just pitted. He's gone in for fuel.
In splash and dash, I would say.
So's Mr. Losh.
Splash and dash number 2.
Glenn has stayed out. Connors has gone into the pits. What's Jack going to do?
Jack's going to be nimble. Jack's going to be quick.
He's over so he hasn't pitted. And Brad's just about to leave. He's on pit exit now. So we have Boyd 1 and Boyd 2.
B1 and B2.
Yeah.
In a nice way.
pair of bananas.
So Brad's dropped back to third spot. He's currently 16 seconds behind Glenn. But I wonder whether both the Boyds at this stage of the race are thinking they can make it on. Without pitting.
That yellow flag in the pace car that was called has really thrown a spanner into the works, hasn't it?
It has, yeah.
Yeah. We the league doesn't like to throw a pace car, and that's the honest truth. But if it has to be done, it's got to be done. But it makes the night interesting as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it, the two Beamers haven't pitted yet. So we've basically got 4 cars in the field that haven't pitted. I mean, a few boys ran it late in race 1, so maybe it's just a matter of leaving it to the last minute. But also curious as to whether any of these boys actually believe they can make it. Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Glenn's just gone into the pits.
B2's in the pits. Yep.
Yep. So.
Well, he was actually B1 because he was leading.
Oh, was he?
Yes, and he's
Well, which makes sense too, right?
He's also the elder statesman, so.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah. And.
Oh, geez, that's supercharged, isn't it?
Wow, and that's Brad Ryan passing
Okay.
Jack. So.
Back. That's a solid first place, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's jumped straight back into the lead now. Glenn Boyd's still just at pit exit now, so he'll rejoin.
This is really interesting. It's I want to see how this plays out actually. Now that Brad Ryan's got in front, in my opinion, that's foiled Jack's plans, right?
You would think so, but
Correct.
it really depends whether Jack has left himself enough fuel to go full beans this lap, because now he's in the box seat with the draft down the
I
two
was
big
just
straights.
about to say,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, if Jack's got enough fuel to go full beans this lap,
Ah,
I'm going
man.
to say it's on.
Yeah, Lushy, these young kids in their school brains that are so fresh and working.
Yeah, I was curious because Jack didn't try to defend at all against Brad, and I just wondered whether Jack was going to be in trouble, but now he's in the tow, he may actually be able to make it.
Well, it's going to help him get there, or B, he's, as I said, left himself enough fuel to really challenge. So it'll all be down to the run they get through the bus stop. And here we go again. This is the end of the race, and we're going to have another cracking finish, I think.
So just out of curiosity here, guys, as well. Andrew Pears' last pit stop was on lap 1. Is that correct?
Yes, for
Okay.
damage.
All right, look at this, boys. It's on.
It is.
I don't think Brad's going to get it back. No.
No,
So
no.
look at that.
Wow.
Wow.
Far out. And if that's another, that's fantastic, isn't it?
And Pearsy brings it home for
P3, is it?
P3, yep. Ridley's home in fourth. Then Glenn Boyd and Loshy actually carded the quickest lap of the race on the
Next.
last lap.
Outsmarted by bloody Glenn Boyd again.
Unreal.
Where was that pace earlier in the night, Loshy? That was a
I
52
think, you
flat.
mentioned I had the fastest lap somewhere earlier before.
Yeah.
Past the pace, I just couldn't work out strategies.
So let's have a look and see if the results are through for race 2. There we go, boys.
Really good. So the winner, Mr. Jack Boyd. That's 2 races in a row for Jack. Good on you, Jack. Great racing, mate. Brad Ryan in P2, Andrew Pears in the P3. Coming right from the back there, Pearsy. Good job. And Kyle Ridley in P4, Glenn Boyd, P5.
Wayne Losh in 6th, Damo Seeger in 7th, with Foster in 8th, Connors in 9th, and Andrew Dutchy in 10th.
Luke Claver, Simworks representative in P11. Darren, the Lioness, with his shiny new paint job. Looks like Leo's in P12. We'll look forward to seeing you next paint job next week. Daz. P13, Ben Ferguson. P14, Mosmaroz. And 15, Matt Pesariero.
16th position, Matt Hardigan. 17th, Ray Oliver. 18th, Daryl Hockey. 19th, Billy Martindale. 20th, Keith Logan.
Stephen Kennedy in P21 with that nice and shiny paint job. Glenn Wood all the way back in P22. He's probably not too happy about that, I'd say. Greg Holmes has retired his car, thrown it into the crowd in P23. Aaron Maguire, P24, and Neville Mell, who I think may have retired early, unfortunately, in P25. We want to see you back next week, Nev.
And those of you that think we plan it, we don't. It's just uncanny that every single time Matt Tesserario's name needs to be called, it's Damo's turn.
I actually
Let's see if
the
we
one.
can keep that up next week.
Hang on, before you shut it down, let me just see if I can actually say it, and then you can tell me in the chat if it's right or not. So, it is Matt Tesoriero. That's it. No? All right, next.
So
Ciao, ci vediamo.
the only question I've got, Damo, is if you
Yes, mate.
want Matt to tell you whether it's correct in the chat, how does he actually tell you the correct pronunciation in the chat? Do we need to get him to break it down into syllables?
You're making me look real stupid here, mate. But
I was just asking for a friend. Anthony,
gold.
save me.
Oh, wow. That's a good point. I'll pay that.
All right, boys. On that note, I think we'll call the night done and dusted. Congratulations to Jack and Brad. Couple of nice wins and very close finishes, which is always great to see. And we'll catch you boys again next week.
That's a wrap.
Yeah, when I'm racing you.
Thanks, boys. Catch you next week. Ciao.